Woo! Stay, girl, to the end of time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's how I feel about tomorrow. Great day of boxing. Got fights going on all day Saturday. Reminds me of March Madness. Got fights going on in the daytime. And got fights going on in the nighttime. You got fights that's starting off in the UK. Headlining by Clarissa Shields taking on Savannah Marshall. By the time that fight's over with, we might have a little bit of a break, and then we can get into the pay-per-view card on Fox, headlined by Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, taking on Robert Helenius. Also in action, we got Devin the Dream Haney, undisputed in the lightweight division, looking to do what he did in the first fight, but in more devastating fashion, taking on former undisputed lightweight champion George Kambosos. This fight's going to be taking place down under in Australia, and it's going to be a great day of boxing. I kind of wish they would have spread these fights out because we ain't really got nothing going on after October 15th. Look at the boxing schedule. You got Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. That's the best fight and the biggest fight that's signed up and that's finalized for the rest of 2022. We don't have any fights involving Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford. We don't have anything lined up with Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, even though I think that fight is actually close to coming to fruition. Until it's done, it's all speculation. With all that being said, let's talk about Deontay Wilder, a.k.a. the Bronze Bomber, taking on Robert Helenius, a.k.a. the Norfolk Nightmare. This is a great matchup. A lot of people sleeping on Robert Helenius. They looking at what he did 6 years ago. Oh, man, he got beat by Dillian Whyte. He really should have lost to Derek Chisora. He got a gift decision in his hometown of Finland when he beat Derek Chisora. He got knocked out by Gerald Washington. Everybody know Gerald Washington ain't nothing but a wannabe, a coulda be, but he never was or is. He ain't never been that dude that was able to break through in the heavyweight division. He lost to him. With all that being said, you got to look at his last two fights versus Adam Kanaki. The first fight was a huge upset in the heavyweight division, as he was able to stop that train that was going down that track called Adam Kanaki. He was on quite a streak. He had the momentum out on his side. The PBC was preparing for him to take on Deontay Wilder in a big pay-per-view event at the Barclays Center, the same location of this fight that's going down tomorrow between Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. So Robert Helenius, in effect, took Adam Kanaki's spot. This fight that's going down tomorrow night at the Barclays Center, this really was supposed to be Deontay Wilder versus Adam Kanaki. That was the fight that the PBC was trying to line up for the Barclays Center. You look at the fact that Adam Kanaki has a huge support in the Poland community. They have a huge Poland population in Brooklyn, New York. You look at the fact that Adam Kanaki had fights that he wasn't even headlining, but had fights that he was on the undercard of, and he had a lot of support. A lot of fans come out to watch him. A lot of times after his fight, a lot of those fans would get up and leave. They was wearing those red Polish shirts. They really supported Adam Kanaki. The fact is that with those two wins over Adam Kanaki, Rob Helenius is like a substitute teacher that takes over class when the teacher is out due to various reasons, sick or had other obligations. Robert Helenius is taking the place of Adam Kanaki as he's defeated Adam Kanaki 2 times by devastating fashion. This is an interesting matchup. You look at the weigh-in. Deontay Wilder came in at 214 pounds, 214.75 pounds. Basically, if you round it out, 215 pounds. Do you know that Muhammad Ali came in at 215 pounds in the first fight with Joe Frazier, the fight of the century? And Wilder's coming in less than the great Muhammad Ali. And when Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier, that fight was back in 1971. You know, when Deontay Wilder was on the pound-for-pound list, many people don't remember this, but Deontay Wilder was a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter when he was knocking out Bermane Stiverne, knocking out Dominique Breazeale, beating Luis King Kong Ortiz, who's a very skilled southpaw Cuban. I think he was like at the tail end of the top 10 of the pound-for-pound rankings. A lot of people were like, man, Deontay Wilder ain't got no business in the top 10 of the pound-for-pound. He ain't got no skills. He's a one-hitter quitter. He's a one-trick pony. He has no skill. He just has a right hand that he relies on. Well, what you got to understand about pound-for-pound is you can go up in weight class and beat guys. Not only dominating the weight class that you was dominating in previously, but go up in weight classes and dominate. And quiet as kept, Deontay Wilder is a guy that at his true weight, at his best, is around 209 to 215 pounds. He beating guys weighing 250 pounds, guys weighing 255 pounds. You look at the fact that Robert Helenius is coming into this fight tonight at 200. My bad, he's coming into this fight tomorrow night at 254.25 pounds. So he basically has, he has a 40-pound weight advantage. And this is nothing new to Deontay Wilder. He's knocking out guys that weigh much more than him. And they let me know that when he was at the apex of his career, when he had 10 successful title defenses, he damn sure deserved to be on the pound-for-pound rankings, but he was fighting guys much bigger than him. Much bigger than him. There's weight classes for a reason. Just imagine a guy fighting at 126 pounds going up and fighting a guy at 154 pounds. That's what Wilder doing basically at the heavyweight division. Fighting a guy tomorrow night weighing 40 pounds heavier than him. Just imagine Gary Russell Jr. at 126 pounds going up and fighting the 154-pound champion, Jermell Lions-Only Charlo, and beating him. That's what Deontay Wilder's doing. That's why he was deservedly so a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter when he was the WBC champion, and he was successfully defending that belt 10 consecutive times. With all that being said, this is a great matchup, intriguing matchup. Wilder must go back to his roots, go back to the first Bermane Stiverne fight, establish the jab, and disguise the jab, and mesmerize the Norfolk Nightmare with the jab, and come behind the jab with the right hand. And if he connects with the right hand, everybody at the Barclays Center, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. It's going to be over with. You land that right hand. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. Wilder's a very athletic fighter. He's got to control Robert Helenius from a distance. He's got not only jab upstairs and double up on the jab upstairs, but he definitely got the jab and double up on the jab to the body. He did a good job of that in the third Fury fight. He's got to follow up on that in the Robert Helenius fight. He must go to the body a little bit more, not only with the jab, but he must throw hooks and go to the body. And he must keep the fight in the middle of the ring. If the fight is in the middle of the ring, he can do damage. He's the more athletic fighter. He's the guy that has the hand speed advantage. He's the guy that can get his shots off quicker than Robert Helenius can. He must throw straight shots. Don't look for those looping shots. Throw those straight shots. Because that's one thing about Robert Helenius. He throws a lot of straight shots. He's a guy that stands upright. His chin is in the air. He's in the straight line, but he throws a lot of shots. He's got a great right hand. And he's got a very good jab. And he does a great job of throwing combinations. A very good fighter. He has underrated power, too. Very good fighter. Very underrated fighter. He did a good job in the second Kanaki fight, showing everybody that the first fight wasn't a fluke. And I was very impressed with him in that second fight. I think he is definitely a maybe top 7, top 8 heavyweight. If I had to rate the heavyweights right now, I would have, obviously, Fury number 1. I would have Wilder number 2. I have Usyk number 3, and that's arguable. A lot of people might put Usyk number 2 and Wilder number 3, but those two guys are definitely top 3 along with Tyson Fury, in my opinion. Then you have Anthony Joshua number 4. You have Andy Ruiz number 5. You have George number 6. And then you have Andy Ruiz number 7. And I have Robert Helenius right there at number 8. So he's definitely a top 10 heavyweight in my opinion. So we will see what happens. And we will see what transpires. This is going to be a good fight. This is not a tune-up. A lot of people looking at this fight as a tune-up. They say, okay, Wilder beats Helenius, get that win up on his belt, and then he'll be looking for bigger fish to fry in his next outing. I don't subscribe to that theory. I think Helenius is a top 10 heavyweight. If he's a top 10 heavyweight, he damn sure ain't no tune-up. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Wilder, when he's fought guys that are tall heavyweights, he's had problems. Look at the 3 Fury fights. He had problems. Even go back to the De La Paz fight. De La Paz was a tall heavyweight. He got De La Paz up out of there, but he went through some things in that fight. He went through some trials and tribulations in that fight. De La Paz cut and had Deontay Wilder bloody before Deontay Wilder ultimately got him up out of there. So he's had his problem with tall heavyweights. You know, those short heavyweights like Romain Stavern and guys like that. Luis Ortiz, to a certain extent, he's a little bit shorter heavyweight, like a 6'3", 6'4" heavyweight. He's able to get those guys up out of there. But guys that are tall, like a Tyson Fury and a Robert Helenius, could pose problems for Deontay Wilder. Robert Helenius must back up Deontay Wilder. As you've seen in the Fury fight, Deontay Wilder is not that effective going backwards. His trainer, Malik Scott, hopefully in this past training camp leading up to this fight, they worked on him being more effective going backwards. But Robert Helenius must do that and make him go backwards because, as we know, Tyson Fury showed that Wilder is not effective going backwards. So we will see what happens. And we will see what transpires. It's an interesting matchup. Very intriguing fight. Can't wait to see it on Fox pay-per-view. Live from the Barclays Center. Great undercard. We got Anthony Dirrell taking on Caleb Plant. And in another scenario, that would be a main event fight. This fight is very, very similar to the all-female pay-per-view card going on in the UK. You got Savannah Marshall taking on Clarissa Shields. In the co-main event, you have Michaela Mayer taking on Alicia Baumgartner. And that Mayer-Baumgartner fight in any other scenario would be a main event fight. And the same could be said for the Caleb Sweet Hands Plant fight versus Anthony the Dog Dirrell. So we will see what happens. And we will see what transpires. But Helenius damn sure got a chance to win this fight. This is no tune-up. This is no get your feet wet type of fight. You know, get some rounds up under your belt, get the win, and move on. This is a dangerous fight for Deontay Wilder. You look at the last fight what Helenius was involved in versus Kanaki, he was very, very impressive in that fight. If that Helenius shows up, he's going to give Wilder all he can handle and then some. But the problem with Helenius is he's not Fury. He don't have the upper body movement of a Fury. He don't like to use his weight and impose his will on his opponent like Fury has done against Wilder in the second and third fight. He's a guy that likes to stay on the outside and, you know, land his shots, land his jab, land his right hand, and throw combinations and show that he's a very skillful heavyweight, especially in the heavyweight division when you got a lot of guys that are lumbering, moving around, slow motion, slow boogie type of heavyweights in some cases. He's very agile. He's very crafty. Let me say it like that. He knows how to get his punches off. He knows how to get his punches off and stay out of harm's way. But the problem with that is when you find a guy that is as athletic as Deontay Wilder, a guy in Deontay Wilder that has learned how to disguise the right hand. Just look at the Dominique Brazil fight. And when you look at the fact that Robert Helenius comes in a straight line, straight back, I think that's a recipe for disaster. And I look for Deontay Wilder to knock out Robert Helenius with the right hand. You know what? I'm finna come out of left field. I'm finna change it up. I think Helenius is gonna be looking for that right hand. He's gonna try to take away that right hand. I know him and his trainer, they've been well schooled on taking Wilder's right hand, and I think that's gonna lay the groundwork for Wilder to knock him out with the left hook. Many people don't remember the first Luis Ortiz fight. The punch that ultimately was the downfall for Luis Ortiz in that first fight was not the right hand. It was the left hand. It was the little short left hook that Wilder caught him with, because Luis Ortiz was looking out for that right hand because he had got dropped previously in that fight. He was looking out for the right hand, and that set the stage for Wilder to catch him with that left hand. And I believe that's going to be the same scenario that plays out in this fight with Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. I think he catches him with a little short, compact left hook that he don't see, looking out for the right hand, and I think he drops Helenius. Helenius has a lot of heart. He's got that Viking spirits. He might somehow make it back up before the count of 10, and I think Wilder goes in and closes the show. I look for a 7th round knockout for Deontay Wilder over a game top 10 heavyweight in Robert Helenius in a WBC eliminator to get one step closer to regaining that belt that he lost to the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, in their rematch a couple of years ago. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Wilder must develop the left hand if he wants to win at the elite stage in the heavyweight division. Everybody knows he got the right hand, but when you're at that elite level, when you find the Tyson Furies of the world, even though he was able to drop Fury with that right hand, he's got to be able to show the left hand, because even when he dropped Fury with that right hand, his power was so devastating. Fury did see those punches coming, but he just couldn't take those shots. He was able to go down but get back up. But if you catching him with a shot that he don't see, he can't prepare for, and that's being the left hand, a little short, compact left hook, that's the shot that will end the show. Make no mistake about it. And I think Malik Scott, his head trainer, and Deontay Wilder has been working on that very punch that I just mentioned. So we will see what happens. And we will see what transpires. Even the looping left hook. If he's looking out for the right hand, he's looking out for that right hand. That right hand going to have to do mesmerize. He really going to be zoned in on that right hand. I'm telling you, to catch him with a short, compact left hook, even a wide looping left hook, you just got to show that you can land it and set it up. If that's the case, that will be the shot that closes the show. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts on who you like in this particular matchup. Do you like Deontay Wilder, or you like Robert Helenius? If you like it by decision, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you like it by knockout, give me the round in the comment section. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard.Briscoe.3551. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.